Good morning, students. Welcome to third part of accounting and its terminology. Previous classes we went through advantages, limitations and qualitative characteristics of accounting, and now we will be dealing with the final user of accounting information, means from for whose point of view or for whom we are writing accounts. That is to be understood. So there are basically two types of users. One is internal, who is directly associated with organization, and second is external, who is outsider, who may be interested in the accounts of the organization. Now internal, it includes management, that is the owner, chairman, director, those people who are actually carrying out the operations of the organization. Shareholders means the investor who have purchased shares of this company. It is applicable for company form of organization. Employees who are working in the organization. These all are directly associated, working in the organization or for the organization directly, so they are termed as internal users. Same way, external user who are not directly associated with the organization, means they are not internal, that's why they are termed as external. Like creditor means the person who provides us goods on credit. Investors, potential investor, potential means the person or entities who have the ability to invest, but they have not yet invested, they are planning to invest in our organization, that's why they are termed as potential or outsiders. Tax authorities means we are required to pay tax to income tax department, and goods and service tax is to be paid as indirect tax to the government, so these tax authorities are also in need of our accounts. Customers, they may be interested in how much social responsibilities or welfare we are carrying out or how much good we are dealing with, that's why they may be interested. Foreign enterprise means organizations who are directly not associated, who are outsider, who are located in some other country, and they may be interested in dealing with our organization, means carrying out operations with our organization, but as they are outsider, they may not be having knowledge about the organization, though they may ask about liquidity, solvency position, profitability position, turnover position of the organization, which can be rendered to them by means of accounting information. Regulatory bodies means the law of land has to be followed, where there are like if we are working in Vapi, we have to furnish our details to Vapi Nagarpalika, so it's a kind of regulatory body to whom accounts are to be furnished. Professional bodies means professionals like CA, auditors who are going to write and check our accounts, so for them also we need to provide them. Researcher and analyst means those who are involved in the process of carrying out a research, whether the organization is improving, declining. They analyze things, they provide you necessary solution or interpretative actions to improve, or they may be carrying out a general study, so these kind of people may also be in need of accounting information. And last is government. The various wings of government may also be interested in accounting information of the organizations. So now these were the list of internal and external users. The same are provided in textbook. Let us go through it. Very first one is management. Management comprises of those people who are actually carrying out the operations of the organization. Now operations of the organizations are carried out by the owner. In case of company form of organization, it may be chairman and directors. In case of partnership firm, there may be various partners. So the team of management, the people or the regulatory body of the organization who is getting work done from others, is termed as management. So very first is management. They are interested in accounts because they want to know whether our organization is earning profit or incurring loss. If you are the owner of the organization, your very first requirement from the accounts is identifying whether your organization is earning profit or incurring loss. Then second one is shareholders. Now shareholders are the investors in company form of organization who have paid money to the company and invested in capital of the company. They are interested in identifying or checking the accounts of the organization because they are also owner. They want to know whether their company has earned profit or incurred loss, what is the position of the company, whether it is improving or declining, means all those things as investor is required to be furnished to them. They are again considered as internal user. Then potential shareholders or potential investor. Potential means they have the ability to invest, but they have not yet invested. They desire to buy shares, means they are interested in investing in our company who have not yet invested. So they may be investing at any point of time. That depends upon the accounts. They will refer to accounts and they'll check whether this organization is able to generate enough profits or not. Only in that case they may be investing. Creditors, they are external users. Now they may be interested in providing goods to our organization on credit. Creditor means those people who provide goods on credit, but they will be providing goods on credit only if they are satisfied that this organization is secured enough. Means if it's a risky organization who is not able to generate profits, the possibility of loss for the creditor increases and they may not be interested. So creditors may refer to accounts of the organization and thereafter decide whether to provide goods on credit or not. Employees are managers, workers who are working in the organization. They are termed as employees. Employees of the organization are considered as internal user. Why they are interested in accounts? Because they also need security whether this organization will provide them long-term future or not. Because if it's a risky organization who is about to sink, these organizations may have to prepare for themselves in future, means to find another job. So they are also interested in accounts to know or identify what is the security in this organization, and that can be known from the accounts, because accounts will reveal about the profitability, about the financial position. The next one is tax authorities. We are required to pay tax. Now taxes are of two types. One is direct nature and second is indirect nature. So these kind of tax are payable to income tax authorities or central government or state government in form of GST. Now these kind of taxes are to be assessed first, means government will be checking the accounts. Income tax authorities will be checking the accounts and thereafter they will determine how much amount of tax we are actually liable to pay. So for that also they need to refer to the accounts of the organization. The next one, customers. Now customers, why they are interested in accounts of the organization? Because they are also interested whether we are overcharging them. Are we providing better facility or service to the society? Are we taking care of the employees? Are we taking care about the orders provided to them? So these are the various things where they are interested in. Even they refer to the reviews, like complaints made by customers, on account of which they may be deciding whether to purchase goods from this kind of organization or not. The next one, foreign investors, entrepreneurs. Why they are interested in accounts? Because if someone from outside who is not aware about the organization wants to invest, they need to check the accounts. They will go through the liquidity, solvency, profitability, etc. of the organization. They will examine each and every fact, or they will refer to the financial data properly or thoroughly, and thereafter they will decide whether to invest or not. The next one, regulatory bodies. They are again part of government only. These kind of regulatory bodies are applicable for type of organization. Suppose you are running a cooperative society. So for cooperative society you are required to refer to the laws of Cooperative Societies Act. Same way, if you are running a company form of organization, you are required to follow rules of Companies Act and Securities and Exchange Board of India. If you are dealing with insurance, you are supposed to required to follow rules of Insurance Regulatory Development Authority of India. So these are the various regulatory bodies under which, or the laws of which, are to be followed for writing accounts. So for them also you have to furnish accounts, because they are going to check whether you are following the guidelines provided by them or not. Then next one, professional bodies. Professional bodies like CA, CS. CA means Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. They provide you guidelines for writing accounts. Company Secretary, ICSI means Institute of Company Secretary of India. They also provide you guidelines for writing company law. ICWAI, Institute of Cost and Works Accounts of India. They provide you guidelines related to costing techniques. So these are the professional bodies for whom you are required to follow accounts as provided by these professional bodies. Then next one, research and analysis. Now research and analysis are group who are interested in identifying the profitability, solvency, etc. of the organization. They carry out research and thereafter they provide the data in public, like those who are dealing in providing ranking, like CRISIL, CIBIL. CIBIL is a way of identifying whether this kind of person, whether some person is to be provided loan or not. It's a ranking or rating provided by CIBIL. CRISIL, they provide rating to securities like shares, debentures, whether to invest in this kind of shares, debentures, bonds or not. They provide ranking like AAA ranking, AA ranking, single A ranking, triple B, double B, single B, and these kind of rankings are provided to securities so that investor can decide whether to invest in this kind of security or not. So these are few examples of research and analysis. And finally, government. It is ultimately the government who has to take care whether this kind of organization are appropriate for the society or not. So they also need to refer to the accounts and thereafter they need to decide whether this kind of organization should be working or not. So these were the list of users of accounting information for whom we are writing accounts. Now further we are going to study about terminology of accounting, means various terms we use in day-to-day life in accounting. Now these are the terms which we should be very clear whenever it is spelled by anyone, because these are the words we use on regular basis. To begin with, the very first is business transaction. Now what does a transaction means? So transaction is any economic event taking place between two or more persons, whether in cash or on credit. Means it is not necessary that it has to be carried out in cash only. For example, if I am purchasing goods on cash basis or on credit basis, it will be considered as a transaction of business. One more thing, business transaction means here while writing transaction it should be strictly related to business only. Personal transaction of owner should not be considered as transaction of business. So these was all about business transaction. Example related to same, cash transaction. That is, suppose goods of 5,000 sold to Rajnikant for cash, means we received cash and we provided goods. Immediate cash settlement of transaction is done. So this kind of transaction is termed as cash transaction. Same way, example of credit transaction, goods sold of 5,000 on credit to Rajnikant. On credit means we have not received money yet. However, goods are provided. Our goods goes out, we are going to receive money from Rajnikant in future. Whatever the credit period may be, 10 days, 20 days, whatever days it might be. This kind of transaction when money is not received immediately or paid immediately is considered as a credit transaction. Then next one, event. Event is a part of transaction or outcome of a transaction. For example, this will be very easy from example point of view. Suppose during the year I have purchased goods of rupees 3,000 and I incurred wages, that is for loading unloading. I may have incurred cost of worker for loading unloading, that is wages of 500. So total cost incurred was 3,500, whereas it was sold for 5,000. Now costing 3,500, sold for 5,000, that means we earned a profit of 1,500. In this case, profit is the resulting outcome and resulting outcome is considered as event. So again, sale of 5,000 will be treated as transaction, purchase of goods of 3,000 will be treated as transaction, wages paid will also be treated as a transaction, but the resulting outcome, that is 1,500 profit, is termed as an event. Event automatically gets derived out of series of transactions. Then next one, capital. Capital means money invested by owner in business. Now it is not necessary that money should be in cash only. It may be in cash or in kind, means by any means anything is invested by owner in business, like owner brings 5 lakh rupees cash in business, so this will be considered as cash investment. Same way, owner brought his personal car of 8 lakh in business for business use, so this will be considered as investment in kind. So whether investment is made in cash or in kind by the owner of the organization, it will be termed as capital. Exactly opposite term of capital is drawings. Drawings means when amount is withdrawn by owner from business for his personal use, means any asset of organization, whether cash or goods or any other asset, is withdrawn by the owner from business for his personal purpose or personal use, that will be termed as drawings in books of accounts. So these were the 4 terms we went through. Now in next class we will be continuing liability onwards. So students are required to please go through the previous terms and furthermore read the next terms also, so that it becomes easy for understanding. Thank you. Have a good day.